Bom dia, gente! Eu sou a Natália. Hoje a gente vai estar filmando pro Fit Rockstar com a Isabelle. Oops, she's just getting here right now.
Well, hello, Natalia.
Hello.
Thank you for starting my show for me.
Of course, talking to my Brazilian fans here, my Brazilian family.
I appreciate it. Miss two-time Arnold champ, six-time Olympia Natalia Coelho. Did I say that right, Coelho?
Yes, Coelho.
Oh, thank God. All right. Everybody, welcome to the Fit Rockstar Show. I'm Isabelle Turell. Thank you. Thank you. And welcome. I'm so happy to have you here all the way from Brazil. No.
Florida, Orlando.
My hometown.
Yes.
Orlando.
See you.
Now, wait a minute. You were born in New York?
New York.
Where in New York?
New York, New York.
New York,
So,
New York?
Yeah.
Nueva York? All right. Who's that? Oh, Mom's here.
Mom's
That's
here,
right,
yes.
Mom. Hey, Mom.
She's down there,
All
back
right.
there.
All right, so New York, and then you guys moved to Orlando when? Or you went back to Brazil.
Yes, I went back to Brazil. I was born in New York. I moved to Brazil when I was 10 months or so, 11 months, less than 1 year. And then I was raised in Brazil. When I was about 14 years old, I came back to United States, to Orlando, and I've been there since then.
Now, you didn't speak English
No.
at all.
It was
How did you learn English? I mean, what did you do? Because that's being so young and you're in school, and I mean, that had to be very hard, right?
Yes. I mean, my mom used to speak English at the house, so I would listen to her, but it wasn't enough for you to actually start speaking. When I got to high school and I started interacting with people, I was forced to learn. I had no other option, otherwise I wouldn't be able to communicate. So I learned pretty much going to the places. I would bring my dictionary. I would write down words, go back home and study the words, try to understand what it means. And it's just an everyday thing, just by going to the grocery store and you see how the names are, the things are called.
Sure.
Little things like that make a difference, make kinds of force you to learn the language.
What was the hardest word for you to learn? That was just, oh my God, I can't get this word. It's so easy, but it's...
Still nowadays, I cannot say it's Floridale. You know the city, it's close to you too. Floridale.
Fort Lauderdale.
Yes,
Oh.
I cannot say that.
Oh, Nico figured it out.
You see?
I'm sitting here huh? What? I'm a Floridian. I don't know that.
Right. That's one tough word for me.
Say it one more time. Let's... Come on. You can do it.
I can say that. It's Lauderdale.
That is so adorable. So I'm going to have to ask you just real quick. I'm going to give you a couple words. I want to hear you because this accent's just... I can just listen to you all day long. Peanuts.
Peanuts.
Penis?
No, peanuts.
Sorry, Mom. I'm sorry. I'm not really trying to disrespect or anything. But cucumber?
Cucumbers.
Cucumber?
Cucumbers.
Cucumbers. That's so
Cucumbers.
cute. Dimple?
Dimple. Oh my
Not
gosh. I
nipple?
had a crazy story about dimples. Yes.
Yeah.
You know it.
No, I want to hear the nipple story.
Oh my gosh. So as soon as I moved here, I went to high school and I was still learning the language. And there was this girl, super fun girl, a Chinese girl, and she had dimples. And I was trying to be nice and make new friends. And I was trying to say that I like her dimples because I have dimples as well. Oh my gosh. I said, I like your nipples.
Oh my God.
The whole classroom started laughing and I didn't know why. And then a few days later, they told me and I'm like, oh my gosh, why did I say that? So still nowadays, every time I see her, she's always laughing because she remembers the story and it's part of the...
So now you know to make sure.
Oh, yes.
Dimples, not nipples, right? That's too funny. Oh my God. I just would love to have seen her face in the whole class when you said that comment.
No, that was not nice. I felt so.
So when did you first, let's go into the competition. How did you even get involved in the industry? Because you're one of the most successful female athletes in our industry, and you're so young. I mean, you've accomplished 2-time Arnold Classic champ, 6-time Olympia. So you've won multiple shows. I mean, you must have like 300 trophies and all kinds of stuff at home. How many shows total actually have you done so far?
I've done 30 shows so far.
Wow.
Since I started competing when I was 16 to 17 years old. I am 24 today, and I've done 30 shows.
Today? Like, happy birthday today?
No.
Oh, okay.
At the moment, I am 24. My birthday is May 1st.
Oh, okay. So take a note, everybody. May 1st. It's coming up.
But I started training just because when you move from one country to another country and you have so many things going on, and it's just like, it's hard. When I used to go to the gym and I would find myself in a zone, in a place that is a universal language. I don't need to learn how to speak English or any language to be there and be doing what I was doing. I would go to the gym and just feel home. Even though I wasn't home, I was in another country, far from my family, far from my friends, and everything that I've been, like raised with. So it was very hard, but it was the best place for me. Like my mindset, I would just like feel relaxed, feel good. And then, but I was also always very focused. And there was this old school bodybuilder who used to go at the same time to the gym as me. And he would always be watching me from far. And he used to train with his son. And then one day he came to me and he's like, "Hey, what you doing?" And I'm like, "What?" He's like, "What are you training for?" And I couldn't reply. I couldn't even understand what he was asking me because I didn't speak English.
You just look at him and be like, did you give him like a...
So back then, when I didn't know what the person was saying or trying to talk to me, I would say yes or okay. The only 2 words I would say. So it's like, what are you doing? Yes. Huh? Yes. But that's not a yes or no question. Okay. So that's all what I did.
Hi, what's your name? Yes.
No, that I knew how to say it. But yes, so one day my mom was at the gym with me, and when he came over to ask me the same question, every day he would ask the same thing. My mom helping me, like translating, and she's like, "Well, he's asking if you compete and if you want to compete or go to a show." And I was kind of like, no, like I never thought about it. But when I was about 12 years old, I was already looking at magazines, reading like all the books, encyclopedia.
Oh, we found another
one. Arnold Schwarzenegger.
What was the word?
Encyclopedia.
There we go. Yes.
So yes, I was always trying to do everything I could to learn about the sport because I admire so much what a bodybuilder does. To like everything he does with his body, with his mindset, with the training, diet. And I was just like following them, trying to do what they do because I want to change my body. But it was not until I was here that I was able to, like actually start visualizing myself on stage, start looking at myself as an athlete, So this bodybuilder, his name is Wade. He was training his son to compete, but his son didn't have at the time the drive as I had. And he's like, "Look, Marlon, she's training harder than you, like you should be like her." And he starts saying that all the time. And one day he came to me, "Do you want to train with us? Do you want to join us?" So we start training together, and he starts showing me like all the foundation of bodybuilding. How do you build your body? It's not about going to the gym and doing random stuff or going heavy and ended up like having an injury or something. So I remember he told me to do like lunges at the gym, and I used to read like online and stuff, and they would tell me, "Oh, do 8 to 12 reps, 12 to 15 reps." And I'm like, "Okay, how many reps should I do?" He's like, "Just do it." And I'm like, "What do you mean? When should I stop?" "I will tell you." And I'm like, "Okay." And he would never say stop. And I'm like, I can't, yeah. I remember doing lunges around the gym for like 3-4 minutes non-stop. I would be shaking with no weights, and my legs are like killing me. And I know like back, I don't know, like maybe in the 90s, 80s, that's how they used to train, like to the failure. They wouldn't count how many reps. They would just go as many as they could.
So I trained with Tom Platts several times. And Tom is Mr. Intensity.
Yes.
He's got the best legs. Which, by the way, that explains you have one of the beautifulest legs. I mean, your whole body in general is gorgeous. But even as a figure competitor, you had strong legs, the glutes, and you had cross striations in your quads. But anyway, going back to Tom. Tom is the kind of guy, he will do 200 reps. It does for one set. Like, I train with him, and he's like, I'm thinking we're doing 5 more. All right, 15, 5 more. We probably did 150 reps. I'm just like, Tom, I can't no more.
You're shaking,
yeah, you're shaking. But Tom's to the point where he wants you to think of a towel. You know, you're taking every little bit of water out of that towel. You have nothing left, like the gas tank. You know, everything until there's nothing left. I'm like, man, this is why he's intense. So I get it. You know, because
I love the mindset.
It's hard.
It is.
Yeah, but I mean, you have the body that speaks volume. I mean, so. This year last year at the Olympia, which again I bet you were very happy knowing it was in Orlando, right?
Yeah.
So what was your first reaction of?
Oh my gosh, I was like, it's literally in my backyard. It's like 15 minutes from my house, and I drive by like every day, and I'm like, I cannot believe. Like, I thought it was like a God sign, like, Natalia, I'm bringing the Olympia to you. So I felt very happy, not only because the Olympia was going to be in Orlando, but just the fact that the Olympia was on. Because everybody was telling me, Natalia, the show's not happening. Do you see what's going on in the world? And I'm like, I do, but do you know who is in the power now? Do you know who is the boss now? Jake Woods. Do you know how much he loves the sport? He's never going to let the Olympia not happen.
Yeah.
And even Jake said he would like bring all the athletes to an island or somewhere just to make the show happen. Even if there's nobody there or whatever, how much it costs, he would make it happen.
I mean, Jake Wood is an incredible man. He has a huge passion. And Dan Solomon, you know, who both of them together. I mean, Dan, you know, he loves the Olympia. And, of course, he's going to still keep it on as well and do whatever he can in his whole team. So God bless him. I mean, we only had 4.5 weeks.
I know, that was crazy.
And the production was crazy, wasn't it?
Beautiful. Did you see the stage? Everything.
The stage was just...
Even like backstage, you know, everything very well organized.
That equipment,
so,
my God.
Oh my gosh,
it was
I know.
top-notch, right? So, you know, seeing you on that stage, of course, I'm not going to lie. Look, Shanique is amazing. She's great. Superhero character. Wow. But, you know, I was looking at you. What you brought was just incredible. And I have to say, I wish you would have won.
Joe Weider's Olympia here in Orlando, Florida.
A little bit strange coming out of Las Vegas for all of those years.
Good evening, and welcome to the event that nearly never happened.
There's been an absence of a particular group of people on this stage that are back tonight. Tonight I'm here to say, welcome back to Miss Olympia.
You know, I mean, you were my pick to win. Congratulations to Sarah. She's a phenomenal athlete. I am hoping, and I'm going to ask my magic 8-ball here because I just like to play this little game. Is Natalia going to win the Miss Olympia? And the answer is, signs point to yes. So tell me, Natalia, if you have a dream besides winning, what is it? You were telling me the other night about your dream, this dream you have. What is your dream?
Of course, like, it's funny. Since I did my very first competitions, I could hear Bob Cicciarello.
How do you say his last name?
Cicciarello. My accent
you say
again.
Bob Chick.
Yeah. Calling my name. Like, and the new Miss Olympia, Natalia Coelho. I've always, I don't know, it's just something because I watch him, like, calling all the Olympians for such a long time, since I started understanding the history of the bodybuilding, of the Olympia, of what it means to be on that stage. He was always there, like, calling the athletes. And I don't know, I've dreamed about that, like, multiple times.
And new.
Yes.
I can't do what he does.
He's awesome.
He's amazing.
You know,
and, you know, he has a big admiration for you, you know, because you are a phenomenal athlete.
He was one of the first persons who told me to switch from figure to physique. I talked to him after the show, and because like he's such a nice person, you talk to him and he gives you
and
like
he talks and talks and talks. No.
He's not no, but he was explaining to me, you know, like the criteria and what I should try. He's like, just bring the same package, come like to Women's Physique and see how it goes. And I'm like, you think so, Bob? And he's like, yeah, try it. And I did, and I got first place, and I'm like, oh my gosh.
What was your first Olympia like? You came in figure, correct? Now, is that 2
Yes.
figure Olympias? You just did the 1 figure
2.
Olympia? 2. Okay.
Yes. I qualified for the Olympia in my first year as I turned pro. I turned pro in 2015.
Nationals. Right?
Nationals.
Yeah.
And then I did a few shows to get my qualification for the Olympia the next year. And, well, my first Olympia was the best experience in my life. I would never forget that day. I didn't place as high as I
What
won.
did you get? 15th?
I got 15th.
And you were happy?
Oh my gosh, I was the happiest person on that stage. I can guarantee you that nobody was happier than me, because it's not only about the 15th medal that I got, but being on that stage, knowing what it means to get to the stage, the history of the sport. You know, like, I know so much about Joe Weider. I know how much passion it was to make this show happen, you know, like to create the show, to be the foundation of bodybuilding. And I don't know, I would step on that stage and look at the audience and remember all the films, all the movies, all the magazines, everything that I read about the sport and the, you know, how everything started.
Can you imagine going back in time during the golden era and going to the Weider offices and meeting Joe Weider, Ben Weider, and just seeing all these athletes? Can you imagine? That's just like, if I can go back in time, it would be during the golden era, because I want to see Arnold Schwarzenegger, which you've met, and you got to tell me, what was that like? I've seen a picture of you and Arnold. Arnold's taking a selfie and you're behind.
Yes.
Gorgeous. But that had to be a very interesting experience.
Special.
Did you know you were going to walk in there and win that show?
No, of course not. I mean, of course we trained to win the shows.
Yeah, you trained to win, but did you know, like, okay, I got it already?
I didn't even know he was the one giving the trophies and stuff, you know, like I was just like, I'm at the Arnold Classic, you know, I want to go there and present my best and represent the sport in my category the best I can. But when I was backstage and I saw like all the security guys walking and Arnold was coming with a lot of people around him, and I'm like, where is he going? They're like, well, he's gonna present the first place trophy. And I'm like, oh wow, I didn't know that. So I was like on the lineup and I could see like Arnold's back there, and I was just like staring at him. I couldn't even hear anybody, but I was just like
Arnold.
focused on the Arnold. And then he came, and then they announced my name, they called my name, and
You start crying?
I don't even know. I don't think I cried. I was like shaking. You know, like when you have no reaction,
Right.
you're still like in that state of mind, like, is this really happening? Like, I dream so much to be here. Oh my gosh, this is happening. But of course, afterwards, I was crying of happiness. I was jumping up and down, thinking about it all
Now,
day.
you two both have heavy accents, not to cut you off. But so, and Arnold always tells funny things to the athletes. So I just got to ask, did he make fun of your accent? Or did he say anything about it?
It's funny because when he gave me the trophy, he's like, so, I see that I'm not the only one with accent here, right? I feel kind of comfortable. And I'm like, yeah. So he's like, it's good because we're going to talk and nobody's going to understand, because I have an accent and you have an accent and nobody's going to understand. He's funny.
So you won the 2019 Arnold, and then you came back in 2020.
Yes.
And you won that Arnold. Now you got to explain something to me. I got something here. Now it's not the original. What are you looking at me though for? Like, you gotta tell me the story behind the Snickers and JM Mannion. I saw an interview where JM's like, hey, here's a Snickers. Were you a diva that day? I mean, it was during Arnold Classic, wasn't it?
Yes, it was the Arnold
Classic. So what's the
Classic
story with the
year.
Snickers?
So I still have the Snickers on my trophy, bro.
I've seen that, right.
It's over there. I'm never eating. He signed this.
He signed the
Snickers. It's
Snickers. That's awesome.
But after winning the show, it was like, oh my gosh, I'm two times Miss International. It felt like so, I don't know, like even before the show, there was nobody in the audience, especially COVID time. They wouldn't let anyone in. But before the judges, before everything, I would go there, just sit down and watch like the stage and visualize myself there and say like, what am I gonna be doing there? I could see myself performing on stage, and that was super important to me because I'm all about vision. When you have a vision, you're gonna work your way there. You know, if you're just like, I always tell people, can you imagine going to like a grocery store with your list? I have 8 items to buy. You go there, you get in, get out in 20 minutes. Now you get there without anything. What am I gonna buy? You're gonna walk to the aisles. You're gonna be there for like an hour. Buy. You're gonna get home and you forgot something. You know, so like I like to visualize. I like to know what I'm doing. What is the purpose of that? Oh, all that stuff.
Do you do vision boards?
I do. Like I meditate in the morning. I study a lot about the power of the mind and things like that because that's what sets you apart. Once you can control your mind, you can control anything in your life.
I absolutely agree. I believe that when you know, the mind over muscle.
Yes.
You know, it's like lifting weights. Some people say, oh, I can't lift 20 pounds or 100 pounds. Yeah, you can if you don't focus so much on the weight. You just put that mind to it and do it. It's like bodybuilding. So the interesting thing with you is when you were growing up, you actually picked apart the body. You were telling me, what was it you did? You had a poster in your room of a bodybuilder, and what was it that you had on?
People would think that I was crazy because a teenager like if you walk in my room, you would see like a lot of stick notes on the wall. You would see a big picture of a bodybuilder with the back double biceps, and I would spend like hours looking at that and imagining and understanding the muscle, the anatomy of the body. And this is something that fascinates me because it's incredible how much, like, you have the power to change your body. You have the power to create muscle just with training, nutrition, you know, like you can literally transform yourself if you want to. So I would look at that and think about like what it took to the bodybuilders to look that way and how did they get there, all these things, you know, and it just inspires me. And I would make notes all day because I study a lot, and I was like, everything that I thought would kind of go with, like, add on to my knowledge in bodybuilding, I would put it on the wall. So the next day I would read that. I remember having a phrase from Kai Green that he said in a podcast, and I wrote down, if you believe in yourself, you can make it happen or something. And I wrote there. So every morning I would wake up and read that. And I'm like, yes, I can do it, you know. So little things like that. I had a picture of Dorian Yates on the wall. And
I was a huge fan of Dorian. Love Dorian. Blood and Guts.
But I watched this movie when I was flying here.
Isn't it awesome?
Yes.
I want that training partner he had, always screaming at him and stuff.
I know.
Yeah.
Things that you don't see nowadays anymore.
No, you know, nowadays, these kids, in my opinion, they have no idea what real hardcore training is like. Some people want to find the easy way out. Mm-hmm. Now, us pro bodybuilders, we do know. You know, you have like a Chris Bumstead who, you know, made an amazing transition from 2019 to 2020. Well, I mean, you started out, because I've seen pictures of you where it's no muscle. And all of a sudden, you just kept on and keep on and getting better consistency. And the other thing is, you don't really. So I laugh because I picked up in some of these interviews after your wins. They always ask you, so Natalia, what are you going to eat right now? Are you going to go have pizza and this and that? And I'm laughing because I already know how you are very strict. Because you're just telling them, no, I'm going to go have steak and potatoes. And I'm laughing. I'm like, oh, my God, that's so funny. Because typically, what do bodybuilders do after a show? They go eat junk,
fast food, everything that they couldn't eat. They want to go out.
30 pounds, water weight.
This has never happened to me.
Yeah, you're very consistent. You eat clean. Your muscles speak volume because they're so pretty. Everything is just so beautiful in you, head to toe. And again, I'm just going to make an early prediction. I really feel you're going to win this year's Miss Olympia again, which is in Orlando.
Yes.
Excited about that?
Oh my gosh,
I hope it stays in Orlando. It needs to stay. So we're both from Orlando, which is interesting. So you'd probably know my buddy, Chris Eady.
Yes, Chris Eady was my first coach.
Oh man, that guy's mean.
But that's what we need, you know. We need
Chris was mean. I trained with him, and I was getting ready for a show. I was 4 weeks out. I went to Chris. I said, Chris, what do I look like? And Chris is very blunt, as you know. He's going to tell you how. And he said, you look like shit. And just like that, I started crying. And I'm in front of everybody in the gym. Because he's looking at me. And I'm like, oh, my God. But he made me work hard. 4 weeks later, I'm in California competing at the John Lindsay Excalibur. and I end up winning the entire show, and I just beat national people. This is my first national qualifier, and I thank Chris because he's a great guy, but man, he has a sharp.
I love Chris. It's like, I remember when I was looking for a coach, he was like, there is no BS with me, like I would tell you the truth. And I'm like, okay, that's good, because most of the coaches are like, oh, you look good or whatever. He's like looking at me, this doesn't look good. Or, like he will be very honest. And
painfully honest is how I like.
Yes, but that's what we need. If you want to improve, you gotta.
It's true. So you're right. That is what we need. But in this day and age, people are too sensitive. You have a lot of girls and guys who want somebody to tell them what they want to hear. Now, in your opinion, because you are very consistent, you're a walking billboard of fitness and health. What, to me, if I was a fan in the audience, which I'm a huge fan of yours anyway, I'm not like your biggest fan, your mom over here. But when I look at you, I say, I want to look like her. She is my idea. Like, I would have a poster of you on the wall. And this is what I want to look like. You're so gorgeous. Your dimples set me apart. Just when you smile, it's just go, oh.
My
I'm in trouble. I hear somebody walking
look who's
over
coming here.
So, what do we have? Hi, Mom. Watch out. Oh, don't be beaten. Hey. What is this? What you got on here?
Well, this is, of course, I'm Natalia's biggest fan. And this T-shirt she's in my heart, but she's all around.
Yeah. I've seen the picture of you lifting her up.
Yes.
Yeah, you got muscles. You work out. Now, you weren't always a fan of her competing, right?
Yes, I put her in ballet classes, and I thought she was going to be a ballerina. But one day she came home with these weights and said, I'm going to lift weights. And I'm like, oh. So in the beginning, it was very hard to accept because people have the image of women and muscles. They don't mix and match.
Right.
And she told me, Mom, I can be feminine, I can be a woman, and I can lift weights. And I'm going to prove that it's possible. Well, there she is.
Are you okay with the way she eats and her diet?
Very hard, very hard. But I accept because it's natural, and she cooks it. She doesn't let me cook.
Nobody touched my food.
Nobody.
Wow.
Because I add a little bit of salt, a little
She's
bit
like,
of flavor.
no, this doesn't taste like anything. Let me put something on. Just a little flavor, some seasoning. I'm like, no, Mom, nothing on it.
So didn't you used to ground Natalia? Like, did she get in trouble?
Oh, yes, yes.
What did she get in trouble
Natalia was always very disciplined and very focused in whatever she did. And Saturday night, she would study. I'm like, okay, Natalia, this weekend you're grounded and you're going to the movies. And she's like, what?
That's a great grounding.
Right? Most kids would love if their parents told them to go to the movies, but Natalia's like, no, Mom, the movies I want are here. She had all the movies
goodness.
she would
What
like.
is wrong with you?
I don't know. I think maybe I put something on the recipe when I
Put something on the recipe.
on the recipe that came out. This special, beautiful.
Come on, if you go to the movies, I have to think about my food. I was in prep, and then I'm like, I want my 8 hours of sleep, And she's like, don't come back home until midnight. I'm like, but I have to eat at 11:30. And she's like, bring your meals, do what you want, don't come back. I was literally sitting down on the porch, waiting for midnight to come back home. I'm like, I'm not going anywhere.
Wow.
I have to wake up early, do my cardio, get everything in. But I love it. And that's the thing. People look at me, oh, poor girl, she doesn't go out, she doesn't party, she doesn't do drugs or whatever. I'm like, that's not what I live for. I love this sport, and I live it 24/7. It's like, if you watch my routine, if you're with me, you're going to either think that I'm crazy, which I'm a little bit, or think that I really love what I do. I have passion for what I do. I'm always like with a big smile on my face doing my cardio or prepping my meals. Whatever I'm doing because I like it.
Right.
Nowadays, people are like, I don't want to cook. They get like a meal prep company. Nothing against that. Some people don't have time. But they just don't want to put in the work. And that's not me. I like to make sure I cook everything. I like to make sure everything is to the point. Like, if I'm eating, I don't know, like oatmeal, cream of rice, they're 2 grams over, I will take them off. I am to the.
Well, some people, they get that extra couple grams, or they're like peanut butter. I got 2 scoops. Which, Mom, by the way, didn't you force her to watch a movie or something related? Was it Pumping Iron?
Yes, she watched the documentary about Joe Witta's life.
Oh, wait a minute. We have a phone call from Bob Chick, the voice of the Olympia.
No way.
What's up, my brother? Can you hear me?
Hey, what's up?
Hey, you won't believe who I have here with me. I got Natalia Coelho and her mother. We're doing some filming.
Hi, Bob.
Hi, Bob.
So, Mr. Chick, can we do a intro for Natalia at the Olympia? Is that possible? Hey, let's hear it, brother.
Of course. You want to know?
Yeah, now give it to us. Because this is going to be the next Miss Olympia here. Give me the whole bells and whistles.
All right, we can try one on for size. Are they listening?
Yeah, try it.
All right, so let's see. This is what it would sound like. And please take the first place check, the first place award, the title of 2021 Olympia champion to our winner. And new Olympia champion, Natalia Coelho.
Yes! Okay, do you know, Bob, she's crying now. She's crying.
Come on, there's no crying in bodybuilding. She knows that.
Yeah, she's crying, man. That's not. Yeah. Now, tell me, how did you? You got her into the women's physique, right? Because we were just talking about you with that.
Well, I mean, I don't know if I got her into it.
But you talked her into it, right?
We had a very specific conversation where I suggested that might be a good move for her, and I says, look, you could be an instant champion.
Yeah.
I says, you could be an instant champion. And I says, wow, I'm thinking I'm talking. Look, do yourself a favor. You remember this. I says, when you do a women's physique show, don't change anything. Just do exactly what you do normally, and just go in the show, figure out the poses, and sure enough, the next show she went in, she won, qualified, boom, the rest is history.
Yeah. Well, listen, brother, I don't want to. I'd love to talk and chat and talk about your new Max Out, but
yeah. Tell her I get some to her.
Oh yeah.
Some Max Out pre-workout.
Absolutely. And by the way, you didn't say hi to Mom, which I think is rude.
I didn't say hi to Mom.
He said.
Oh, he did? Okay,
Yes.
my bad.
Yeah,
All right.
I started. Listen, I blew you guys off. I started with Mom.
Oh, all right.
I heard you, Bob. You're right.
Oh, don't beat me up now, Mom. All right.
Hold on. Listen, Bob, I have to beat her up again.
She got beat. I'm getting beat up over here, Bob. Thanks to you. Anyway.
Yeah, I started with a hello to Mom.
Yeah,
All right.
He did.
All right, brother.
Will you girls have fun and tell Natalia there's no crying in body?
Oh, wait a minute. I do have. Wait a minute. I got one more request besides Natalia crying, which I can't believe. Can you just do a quick intro, like how you introduce your show? I always like that. How do you start that out, like the Olympia intro? Can you do that for me?
Oh, the Olympia?
Yeah. Give me that, just real quick. I get chills when I hear it, right?
Yes,
That's,
every
you
time.
know that's always going on.
Boys and girls, bodybuilding fans of all ages, welcome to the Olympia.
That's great. Thank you, Bob. Thanks. All
Girls, have fun. Bye.
right.
Thank you, Bob.
Bye.
See you soon
Okay, bye.
at the Olympia.
That is crazy.
He's a nut.
He is
Crying.
wonderful. It's just like I don't know. It's a mix of.
This is what I love
feelings,
about you.
know.
You're just so genuine. You know.
I
all
do
right.
from the heart, you know.
I'm probably gonna get ripped for this, but your daughter, she's amazing because she's everywhere. You know, she's such a great ambassador of the sport. You're always for the fans. I mean, you're at every show. You always show your face. You're kind to take pictures with kids and anybody. You know, I mean, weren't you telling me a story? Jay Cutler, your first, was it your first expo you did for the Arnold or Olympia, or you waited 3 hours? You were taking pictures for 3 hours, and it was only supposed to be an hour.
Yes, I was supposed to be. I had a contract. I had to stay at least an hour in the booth taking pictures, but I would not like leave until the whole line was over because you know the fans are there for you, and I would feel bad. And I know like I appreciate so much the support, and I get the energy from people coming to me and saying like, you know, sharing their stories, motivational, you know, all the things that they would come to me and say, and if they just want a picture. Why wouldn't I do that for them? And I know, like, when I was younger and I was in these big lines to, you know, take pictures with the athletes that I admire, and I would wait hours just to stand by them and take a picture. And I would see some of them, like, sometimes, oh, it's time to go, they would leave. And I was online like, okay, next time. I don't want people to feel like that, you know. I want to be for them what I sometimes didn't have.
But Jay Cutler noticed you. So what is it that he told you?
Jay Cutler, he did the same thing back then. I remember seeing him online, like, waiting. I don't know if the whole line, because he had a lot of people, but staying over, always going above and beyond for his fans. And that's something that I learned from him. He
reached out to you, right? And he was like...
I remember, yeah, at the MPA booth, I believe it was at the Arnold. Him and Matt Porter, they were very close. They were friends. And he would come over to the booth.
Sorry about Matt Porter.
Yes. But he's up there, he's proud, he's watching me, and hopefully I'm going to keep making him proud. But yeah, Jay and Matt were very close friends. Jay came over one day to the booth, and he was talking about it, you know, how he sees, you know, what I was doing for the fans. And that's amazing, because when you see somebody that you admire being close to you and congratulating you and telling you that he sees potential on you or whatever it is, it's just like shows that everything is worth, you know, that people are recognizing what you're doing.
People always ask how I got here. I was willing to work just a little harder than everyone else. Every damn day. If I can have hundreds of hours back, you know I'm gonna grab them. Spending hours prepping chicken, rice, and vegetables, F that. I rely on perfect nutrition. I rely on trifecta.
So I love Jay. And
I love Jay.
And Jay is so down to earth and cool. And Mom, I think we need to do something with Natalia, because I love the T-shirts. By the way, are they for sale? Can we buy
Not
these?
yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Okay.
We'll work on it.
Jay Cutler had hater blocker sunglasses, and it literally had hater blocker across the sunglasses. I think they sold for a couple $100. Matt Daniels, you know Matt Daniels, manager Matt. He was telling me about it. I just started laughing because I wanted a pair. So maybe we could use some hater blockers, because there's going to be some haters when you win the Miss Olympia 2021. And I can't wait for that, because you're going to kick ass. Now, Mom, in saying that, your daughter has always been fit, healthy, living the lifestyle. I mean, you played soccer, Muay Thai, and whatever sport, volleyball, things like that. But Mom, you said during graduation, now this is high school graduation. How did you spot your daughter?
Well, there were 900 kids on the Amway Center, and I couldn't see which one was my daughter. Then all of a sudden, I see this girl with the gallon of water hanging and going up and down. Like, okay, that's my little
How did you get the gallon of water in there? You're not supposed to have.
Yes, we cannot go in with anything, but you know, I found a way. You know, I was gonna be there for at least like 3 or 4 hours, and I'm like, I cannot go dehydrated. You know, like I need my water. So I'm used to drink water like 2-3 gallons of water a day. I'm like, I will find a way. When we want something, I always say, when there is a will, there is a way. So I found a way. Maybe God helped me to sneak in, but I got my water.
Hey, you're getting that water no matter what. Now, Mom, was she always a good kid? I mean, did she do anything bad besides eating right and training?
Right. No, Natalia, when she was like 3-4 years old, maybe a little more, she used to go to her grandfather's house. And when she went visiting, she had this habit of organizing drawers. So she would get there and ask her grandfather, Grandpa, do you have any drawers that I can clean and organize? I'm like, this baby is not normal. So since little, she always had this unique, different way of being, and always trying to keep things neat and organized, sometimes even annoying, because
OCD, I'm very OCD.
Yes.
You know, but
well, let me unorganize some things here.
Let's see what happens, right?
Now, speaking of that, in your house, when you walk in, it's not the typical house setting, right?
Yes, I have no living room, which I used to have, and then I went to Brazil. When I came back, the couch is in my bedroom, and in my living room there's a Stairmaster and a treadmill, and I think a spinning bike. So you can choose if you want to visit Natalia, which of the three you're going to use, but there's no living room anymore.
Yes, I mean, she went to Brazil, she left me home alone. I'm like, Mom, I feel things are going to change, you know. She's like, I'm going to be here for 2 weeks. 3 months later, she comes back. Things change.
Well, listen, don't feel bad. You know what? In my kitchen, and this is no joke, in my kitchen, I have a commercial grade vertical leg press. Yeah.
What?
And I have a big Stairmaster, the big gauntlet stepper right there. So I can cook my eggs or whatever and then
And do leg press at the same time?
Like the vertical leg press and then get on the stepper. And
Okay,
so
Mom, you cannot complain about me anymore. She's worse.
Okay, so I'm looking for a new roommate because they're going to live together.
Oh, boy.
They're going to have a lot of fun with
Beleza.
Beleza.
Did I say that right?
Beleza.
That's the only thing I know. Besides Fala Portuguese, that's all I know.
We got to teach you some more words.
You work at Disney, right?
Yes, I work at Disney, yes.
Oh, okay.
She makes magic.
You make magic?
Yeah.
So how many times have you been to Disney? Did you ride Space Mountain?
Yeah, well, I'm not a roller coaster person, but
okay.
I've been a few times, yes.
Do you, what's your biggest fear? I mean, if I may ask. I'm just curious because you seem strong woman, but
Height.
Heights?
Yeah, I don't like heights.
How about the ones with the glass floor?
Yes, yes, those. Yeah, I don't.
Even
like
when she's flying, like airplanes, she holds my hands and I'm talking to her and keeping her calm. I remember going to Olympia, going to Vegas. Not now because the Olympia is in Orlando, but I was always talking to her.
Listening to my prayers.
Yes, she was praying the whole plane, and I'm like, it's gonna be okay, Mom. We are almost there. So.
Now, in school, there was something interesting that I read. You didn't eat. She didn't eat junk food, right?
No, yes.
How old were you? This is what, 13, 14?
Yeah, since very young.
So,
I mean, I always understood what the effects the food has in your body, and I started getting into gut health and reading a lot, understanding a lot about your microbiome, about everything that's going on in your body, pretty much. So, I always had my meals with me, even though the professors didn't like that much, you know.
Now, wait a minute. You ate broccoli, right? And then there was this thing where you froze rice?
Yes.
What in the world is that? And please tell me about the frozen rice.
Well, I used to eat my meals in the room, and my professors would say you cannot eat. They would kick me out of classroom. But I've been always like a straight A student. I was always in the first seat, sitting there like 20 minutes before everybody walked in. I was already there, ready to start the class. And there was no way they wouldn't see me eating because I was right there in the first, chair, the first seat. And they would kick me out, and I would be like outside the classroom, looking through the glass and eating outside. Sometimes I got detention once for eating in class.
Oh, God.
So I tried to explain to them that I needed to eat. And they're like, this is not the time to eat. And I'm like, yes, it is.
Didn't Chris Eady write some type of note or something?
He did. Oh, my gosh. Thank you so much, Chris. He wrote a note saying that my blood sugar would drop if I didn't eat at certain times. And this helped me so much.
Yeah, did they finally say, okay, now we're going to let you?
Nope.
Really?
So, yes, they told me I cannot use any silverware. So I can eat anything that doesn't need like a fork or a spoon or something. I'm like, interesting. Let me see what I can do here. So I froze my rice, froze my chicken and everything, so I could just bite it without having to use silverware. And that's where the frozen rice comes from.
God. I'm going to have to try that sometime.
You should. And until nowadays, I eat all my food cold. I got used to it.
I like eating my food cold. And
you
people
like it?
think I'm crazy if I
They
eat
do
cold.
as well.
So I have a weird thing. Bob actually made fun of me. We were having breakfast one morning at one of the shows, and I had my hot oatmeal. Well, I put ice cubes in it. And so Bob, as he's talking to me, he looks down, he's like, what the hell is this? You too? You don't like the ice cubes in my... Ew, it's disgusting. No.
I eat oatmeal like just raw. I don't put water or anything. I like them. It's just like dry.
He thought I was crazy that I had ice cubes in my
we all a little bit crazy,
We are crazy. That's why we do the sport. That's why we love it so much.
Exactly.
Mom, you're a little crazy too, right?
Well, comparing to you guys, I'm kind of normal. I think everybody has a little bit of craziness. If it's a healthy craziness, if it doesn't hurt anyone, and if it helps you guys, like I used to, in the beginning, when I go out with Natalia for a long period of time, she has to bring her meals with her. And I'm like, can't you wait? No, I can't wait. I have to eat. So in the beginning, I thought it was kind of crazy, but I accept because it doesn't hurt anyone. She's doing what she likes, what she loves, and she does it in a way that she's always thinking about people, inspiring people, and teaching people how to take care of themselves. She helped me quit smoking after 26 years.
How did she helped you quit smoking?
Yes.
Wow. Did she like cut the cigarettes up or?
No, she would I tried a few methods like patch, gum. And what I mainly figured out is like my cigarette was emotional. It was like something that I would use when I was going through a difficult time. And she's like, okay, Mom, so when you're going through it, call me. I'm like, I'm going to be calling you a lot. And I called her like 10 times a day.
Really?
Yes. And she was like, yes, just talk.
I remember like the first days, I was in summer break, so I wasn't going to school or anything. And she was working at Disney. And she had a very early shift, so she would go to work like 5 a.m. or something, and she was smoking because it kept her awake. And then she would call me 5 a.m. I'm like, I don't mind, call me, wake me up in the summer break or whatever. I will be there for you. So we would be talking the whole time, and then she would go to work, and I knew like at work she couldn't smoke, but in her lunch break and all the breaks she had, that's when she used to go out and smoke. She would go out and call me, and we would be talking. And it's just like I said, the power of your mind. I was trying to like build a strong mindset in her, and I would tell her, you can do it. I literally study everything that happens in your body when you don't smoke for a day, 2 days, 3 days.
Wow.
And every day I would tell her what was going on in her body, so she could keep motivated to understand what's going on now. Like, okay, my lungs are clear. Okay, my bloodstream, like every little thing that was happening, physiologically speaking, she would understand and motivate her to keep going. And I remember it was on April 24th that she quit smoking, 80 years ago. And on this day, every month, I would give her a gift to say, congratulations, one more month that you are like fighting this battle. So she's like, if I don't give her a gift on the 24th, she's like, I'm gonna go back and smoke. Where's my gift?
Okay.
I'm like, oh my gosh,
That's so sweet.
Right. I think like it's the life of someone who you love that is in your hands.
Right.
So if you can do anything to help her to live healthier and to just be here with me and for me, of course I will do it. I don't mind waking up early or doing whatever it takes, because she's my angel. She's my everything.
Well, you guys have such an amazing bond. I have never seen such a bond of two people like you guys. And in our sport, unfortunately, some people don't have that type of support, and it's hard, but you guys, man.
But it's like you said in the beginning, she wasn't that supportive. It was very hard. And I understand her sides, because as a mother, to see your kid not doing what normal teenagers do and being so obsessed about something that is so different, I understood her side. And that's why I'm like, one day I know she's going to understand. I know she's going to see. I'm going to prove to her that what I'm doing is worth, and that I have passion, and that I can. It's just a matter of time.
So
you need to be patient.
I gotta laugh at this because you actually quizzed your mother on a movie. You made her watch a movie. So you were
bigger.
Yeah, you wanted her to learn about your sport.
Yes. So because it's important. When you're on stage, and you are watching your kid, your boyfriend, whoever's on stage. Okay, he looks nice. I know he's been prepping, and I know the sacrifices. But when you understand the history of the sport, what it means to be on that stage is different. It just has this special touch, So I want her to understand who is Joe Weider, to understand the whole history. And I made her watch the movie. She just came back from work. She was like, I'm sleepy. And I'm like, Mom, you better watch because I'm going to quiz you. And I quiz her.
I think we should give Mom a quiz right now and see if she's Yeah. Give her a quiz. I want to hear this. Let's see.
Okay. So, Mom.
A yes or no quiz. Please don't. Okay, tell me.
Let's see. How many times Ronnie Coleman was Miss Olympia?
8.
Hey.
Yes. There you go.
Go, Mom. Go, Mom. Yeah.
All right.
Who was the creator of the Olympia? The IFBB?
Joe Weider.
Hey.
Does he has a brother?
Yes, he has a brother too. Wait, what's his brother's name?
Starts with B.
Bob.
Ben.
Ben? Bob. Bob, I was thinking of you, Bob.
You see, Bob.
Yes, Ben.
That's great.
But
it's impressive. Hey.
Yeah.
she knows the
You know what's funny? Even athletes today, if I was to ask them who, let's say Dorian Yates, who's that?
They're like, who?
Who?
And I'm like, he
Or who's
won
Joe
the...
Weider? Who?
That is true.
Sad.
That is true because I remember talking about the Weider when I was backstage before my first Olympia, I think. Yeah, 2017. And I was talking to a few girls, and I'm like, we need to be a family back here. We're gonna go on that stage. Of course, there's a little like, yeah, but the thing is like, you on stage, we are representing the sport. We gotta make Joe Weider proud. He's watching us, and they're like, make who proud?
Make
and I'm
who
like,
proud?
the Weeders. And they're like, who are them? I'm like, oh my gosh, they don't know who the Weeders are.
No.
And I was like, it's kind of sad to see that it's happening because I believe it's so important for you to understand the history of what you do. And nowadays, I don't know, it's okay. I understand some people just compete because they have a goal, like, oh, I want to lose weight, I want to look good or whatever. But if you want to be like in this industry, if you want to have like a long run, you have to know a little bit about the sport. And I totally encourage everybody to do your research, to educate yourself about the sport, because it's amazing. All these stories they're gonna hear and they're gonna learn. It's mind blowing, you know. It's
when I first got into the sport, I hated bodybuilding. I thought it was stupid. I didn't want to be on stage in a posing suit with oil. I thought it was just dumb. But then when I got my first show, I was like, I actually like this. I started researching. I wanted to know, where did bodybuilding start? Where did we come from? Who are the fathers of bodybuilding? And then so I got really involved in it, and I agree. Know your history. If you're, it's such a great sport. There's so much great things about it that, again, it gives me goosebumps just talking about it. But in saying that, I do want to ask you about last year's Olympia. Shanika Grant retiring, because she said I think in January she said she was retiring. What is your thought on that? Think she'll be back?
Honestly, she might be back. She's young. She has a future ahead of her. She was used to winning, and sometimes when you get like another placing that you deserve or that you think you deserve, you're just like in shock. Your thoughts are all over. But she has her reasons. I watched a few interviews she did talking about the reasons she has. So as long as she's happy and she's doing what she loves, I don't think she should come back if she doesn't have the passion for competing anymore, or if she thinks she's prioritizing something else in her life. And I respect that. She knows what she does. I admire her. I think like she has a nice physique, but it is what it is.
So with the Arnold this year, I think it will happen. Let's just may not be the same Arnold as we had hoped for. Let's pray that it does happen. The Lormers, God bless them. They really have always put on the best show ever. The Arnold Classic, and you've won 2 times. And what is your thoughts on the Arnold happening this year? Do you think it's going to come about, or I think they should have it in Orlando?
That would be good, but I don't really think it's gonna happen this year, honestly, because we are already in like March.
Right.
Almost April.
Well, they said September, right? That it may be in September?
Yes, but
I think
it's
they're probably
like
just putting something out there to please the masses, but let's hope. And if they do, of course, you'll win that one as well.
Hopefully, yes.
Yeah.
If they have the show, I will be there.
All right, so what can we expect from the real-life Wonder Woman, who, by the way, has her own bobblehead that you can buy? Where is that at? Where can we buy it?
idols.com. They have the bubble heads.
I love that. It's cute. And you have a custom Wonder Woman statue that a big fan of yours made for you, which is awesome.
Did you see that? Yeah, it's so amazing. Yes.
So you are the real life Wonder Woman. And what can we expect from you at this year, besides winning the Olympia? What can we expect as far as your package? Are you going to change any things? You're working with Andrew Vu. What can we expect from you?
Well, we talked to the judges after the show. I always get feedback. I always try to do what they are looking for. And they really, this time, they didn't tell me to change much. They don't want to see much more size on my lats. They did mention my middle back could be a little thicker. So Angel and I are focusing on that. My quad sweep could, just little improvements here and there. But it's nothing like major. Like from my Olympia that I placed third, was 2019, to last year, I had to make big changes because I grew a lot on my upper body. So I had to, get my balance.
You can just look at dumbbells and you put on size and get shredded.
Girl, it's not that easy. I wish.
And you're Brazilian, which God bless you, because the Brazilian has taken over the industry. And wellness is going to be off the chain, But God bless you, Mom.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to seeing more of you. You're amazing. And God bless you for being there for Natalia and giving us Natalia, because she's an amazing person, inside and out, outside the sport. Hopefully we can have a book from you. I would love to read your story. You have a lot of interesting things to say, and I would love to read it. Plus your positive mindset. Is there anyone you guys want to say anything to the fans out there? Motivation, as family, anything? Sponsors?
Well, I think to the fans, to the people who are starting this sport now, I just hope they have patience and consistency on what they do. A lot of young girls now, they are starting to compete. And the thing is the future of the sport is in our hands, because we are the young generation. We need to make sure we know what we're doing. We know our sport, so the sport can continue to grow. Because nowadays we still have very good people like you, like yourself. You understand the sport. You have passion for what you do. You're doing these podcasts and these interviews to educate people, to get people in this industry. But
some people are afraid.
They are. And we need to go out there more. We need to try to involve as many people as we can and show the passion and show that this sport can be a healthy thing.
So I just want to say something real quick in regards to what you just said. So you're not even Miss Olympia Physique, and you're doing more than most of the Olympia winners. And I'm sure I'm going to get some heat for that, but it's true. I would love to see Sarah more publicly, and I've not seen her publicly. I think as a winner, you need to be in the spotlight and represent. And I have to say again, you're such a great ambassador. I go to the show to watch you. No. I can never get enough of you, and I think I speak for a lot of fans. You have fans all over the world. Mom, I'm sure you know how it is. You see it firsthand, but you're an amazing person, and your positive energy, you just have this flow to you.
That means a lot to me.
Well, you have no idea how inspiring you are. You touch my lives. Like your client, Cheryl, what you've done with her is amazing. But I just wanted to say again, if you can, please give some positive motivation. And then Mom, if you can throw in just a little snippet about family and competing.
Yes, I think the first thing is a lot of people forget about how important family is. They just focus on themselves, and they forget that time doesn't go back, So you have to remember that everything that you're doing, time is passing by. So do it, but don't forget those who you love, who are there for you every day. Every time that I have a chance, my checks and everything, I share with my mom, and I help my mom, I help my family, because I wouldn't be here without them. And there's no purpose of life of just getting accomplishing things if you don't have someone to share with, or someone to show look, I made you proud, look where I am. This is for you. Sometimes people get too much in their bubbles and they forget, to give back and to remember how important family is, because that's my mom is.
Well, and when Natalia started the sport, and I really gave her a hard time, and I used to take her to the shows and see some mothers that wanted their kids to be bodybuilders, and they would push their daughters to stage and I don't want to go. I'm like, why is that mother forcing the teenager to do something that she doesn't? Probably the mother was a bodybuilder in the past, and she wanted her daughter to pass it along. And with Natalia, it was the other way around. She had to show me, to prove to me that was good for her. So I would be there with her, but I gave her a hard time. She's like, you know what, Mom? Thank you for giving me a hard time, because if you had made it easy, I would take it for granted. what made me strong to fight for what I want is I had to prove to you and to the world that it could be done. And I want to show everybody that you can be healthy, you can be fit. And in school, she starts studying sports nutrition to learn not only what the coaches told her to do, but to see if it would make sense. You see a lot of people out there that do things that on different ways, and she's like, no, I want to know what's happening to my body, and I want to build the body consistently. Ooh, mom had a, see where you heard that from? Okay. But I say Fort Lauderdale. That one I know.
One more time. What is it again?
No, Fort Lauderdale. Not fair. But the cucumbers is much better.
Cucumber.
Cucumber.
I like the peanuts.
No, that mom does not allow. Because it can give you a double meaning.
Peanuts.
But anyway, yes, she's making.
You guys have a dirty mind. I just
No, I
say
do
peanuts.
not.
Yes, you do.
Peanuts. That's what it sounds. See, you just
Peanuts.
I just came back from Brazil and I saw the family, and when I get there, they're always like, where's Natalia? Where's Natalia? I'm like, she's training, but she's going to make some time to come here. And hopefully the things will get better. They're like, oh, admire her. They all admire what she accomplished here.
You are amazing. And not only are you a phenomenal athlete, but you also have 2 degrees, and you're very intelligent, highly intelligent, and
Thank you.
amazing woman, great representative of sport. Well, anyway, thank you, Mama Coelho. Did I say that right?
Yes,
Mama Coelho. And Natalia Coelho, 2-time Arnold champion and a 6-time Olympian, soon to be Miss Olympia. Thank you for being on my show. I appreciate you guys so much.
Thank you so much.
I'm Fit Rockstar Isabelle Turell, signing off.